What up, this is CJK1231 back again with another hip-hop album review. This time we are doing the one that you guys probably been waiting for, since this group has gotten me a lot of views as far as me doing videos in relation to them, and I'm actually pretty proud of that because it's one of my favorite duos. Probably my favorite. There's a difference between favorite and best. To me, the best duo is probably Outkast, but favorite is Starr, mainly because, it's something I grew up with. It's a group that I kind of basically, got a lot of life lessons from, and they helped me out a lot in life. So, probably some personal bias towards them, and plus I wouldn't even group Outkast and Starr in the same thing, because one is a producer, rapper, the other two are just two MCs, so, and they're producers too, but still. Anywho, Starr, one of the best yet. Yes, their new album that came out about a week ago now, a week ago in 2 days maybe. I've sat with it, I let it play. I was not prisoner of the moment. I actually let it play a couple times. Basically, I will say this, based on the background of how for what it took to get this album done, it is kind of sad to hear what they had to do to get some of Guru's vocals. First of all, they only got like at least 30 tracks from Solar, some of them only being one verses, so very, very limited. One thing I can say about this album is that you can definitely feel the absence of Guru, even though they will like tell you that his ashes were there in the studio while Premier was making it, but it's just something about, I don't know, it's something was missing, even though it felt like you could definitely feel the copying and pasting of the verses onto the songs, in my opinion. And being that, Starr is so top tier for me, I do tend to put a bar on anything Starr related. So, if you listen to the previous albums before this, like Moment of Truth, Hard to Earn, even The Owners, which people shit on for whatever reason, I don't know why, but you can feel Guru's input, you can feel him there. Those albums feel like he had something to do with them, like he had a say-so in some of the direction and all that stuff. Here, you can just feel the absence. I can't explain it, and I know it's probably going to sound pretty rhetorical to a lot of people. The casual audience might just listen and be like, but the vocals of this or Guru's there. Nah, it feels different. Primo's beats, they're always great. You know what I mean? They're always amazing. So, one thing I will say about the beats on this particular project is, in comparison to his recent works like Prime and Prime 2 and stuff, the beats are okay. A lot of aggression on these beats, like a lot of aggressive beats, aggressive songs on here. Some of them are great, some of them are, and like people's beats are never trash. Some can be underwhelming, but they're never trash. It's fucking Premiere, so. But as far as this album goes, one thing I will have a complaint about, especially when I'm comparing them to the other game. If I look at this as a project on its own, like its own project, it's amazing. But if I had to compare it to previous Starr albums and stuff, I will say it is very, very short. I think it clocks in under at least 37 minutes. And, excuse me for I have a stuffy nose right now, but yeah, it clocks in the under 37 minutes, and that's like, it has to be like the shortest Starr album ever. I don't even think No More Mr. Nice Guy was this short. And I think a lot of it has to do with either, I know one of them is definitely a reason, but the second reason is my own theory. I'll get into that. The second theory, I think, is because we're in a new generation where kids and just young hip-hop fans in general, casual fans, digest music very, very quickly these days. They don't want to hear something that's over a minute long. Even 2 minutes for some people nowadays is pushing it, which is ridiculous. But And maybe, with the fact that he has J. Cole and Diddy Scott on here, the more newer generation artists, the fact that they might have their fans gravitate over to this project just to see what they're doing on this project, knowing their attention span, maybe, to suck them into the Gangstar fandom as a whole, they'd probably say, well, let's shorten the tracks. That way they could, digest it easier, and it'd be an easier listen for newer audiences. Because at the end of the day, even though it's music and it's artistic creativity and all that, it's still somewhat sort of a business, so you have to at least throw something in there for them. So, that could be a business thing. Another thing that I know is for a fact, number two, is the fact that Premier did say that Guru, he only had 30 vocal tracks available to him from Solar, and some of them were just one verse, you know what I mean? I think there's 2 songs on here where it's just one verse songs from Guru. I think the quickest song on here is about like either 49 or 50 seconds long. And yeah, it's with all that being said and putting all those together, this album is damn. The thing is, to me, I'm a big Gangstar fan. There's a ton of big Gangstar fans. I'm not trying to say I'm the biggest Gangstar fan in history or anything like that. But as a Gangstar fan, I guess the way I like to hear my Gangstar is that, it was really short. A lot of the beats were aggressive where I think that it had to be. You can feel Guru's absence on here. You can feel some of the copy-paste on here as far as his verses onto the songs. I actually talked about that on the Family and Loyalty when I first reviewed the track. You can go back and check in my playlist library and see if you can find that video. It wasn't that long ago, so you should be able to find it. But you do feel like Guru was obviously missing here, even though his voice was there, but it didn't feel the same. And you got people out there already praising this album and stuff. Some people are saying that this is a 5 out of 5, 5 mic classic and all that. And we'll get into that later. But I guess right now what we can do is go through the tracks, right? So you had the intro, which is one of the best short shot intro, where basically, if you guys ever listen to the song Royalty off the Moment of Truth album, where it's like, the Gangstar has got to be the short shot, and it's like that. Premier basically cuts that up with Guru saying that's the shit over like different classic Gangstar instrumentals from their history that they've put out since '89. Just opening my notes here so I could actually say the songs. So, for example, this plays over a full clip, Too Deep, The Question Remains, Bust Your Shit, Same Team No Games, Who Got Guns, Work, Mass Appeal, and Code of the Streets. Yes. So it's a pretty dope intro. The next song is Lights Out with MOP. Very aggressive. Billy and Fame bring it. Guru is very aggressive on the hook too, and even he brings it. The beat is extremely out of all the collaborations that Gangstar and MOP have done, I think I could try to name them all. I think the first one they officially did was in '95 off the Ill Kid album, which had Stick and Move with Guru and Fame and Billy rapping. I think it's called Life. There's that. Then you have Business versus Friendship on Moment of Truth. Salute Part 2 off First Family for Life. Half and Half on the Blade soundtrack. And then that one song on the Owners album with Fat Joe with them. I'm just forgetting the name of it. But yeah, this definitely does feel like a spiritual successor to Business versus Friendship off Moment of Truth, because it's structured the same way. It's Guru first, Fame second, Billy third. And it's a pretty hard track. I like it. Then comes the second single off the album. And this is where we run into one of those one verse issues that I was talking about. It's called Bad Name, where, the lyrics are very potent and poignant, even to today's standards. It's very, very relevant. One of the the ways it starts off, it's like if Biggie and Pac were still here, most of these rappers were Axel Cavalier. And, you know, it's going to all these young rappers that are basically blowing up and getting massive fame based off just, I guess what people might call mumble rap, or not even that, because I don't want to disrespect them that much, but let's just say rap that isn't up to even regular standards. You know what I mean? So, you know, and the instrumental is dope there too, but again, it's just one verse and then it's pretty much over. It's like, it's 2 minutes and 29 seconds, but Premier seemed to somehow take up whatever time Guru is spinning verses and like scratch up. I hate he would be like he scratches up the bad news hook. I hate telling people bad news. It's pretty dope, but again, it's real quick. Then you have Hitman, which is a song featuring Q-Tip on the hook. Now, when I first saw this as a feature, I actually was hoping to hear a Q-Tip verse, but that was another letdown for me when I heard the song. It's him doing a hook, and I'm not even a fan of the hook that much. I know Premier likes it, and a lot of people, Ebro likes it, but I don't, because the song is basically about Guru talking about how a hitman loves to do his job and just takes out people and stuff like that. But then you have Q-Tip doing the and towards the end it's really off beat, and it's just like when something's off beat and awkward sounding, I just kind of like, I don't know about that. You know, a lot of people like that song, but to me, the hook kind of just makes me, and even Q-Tip's vocals sound like grungy and like how would I explain it? Like early '90s East Coast, like dirty, covered. Like his voice sounds like very, very covered and dirty and like muffled, like what you would get on an early '90s album. Like if you hear Wu-Tang 36 Chambers or something like that. Like I guess that was a creative choice intentionally. I don't know. There's that old grit sound to his vocals. But yeah, I mean, so it was an okay song to me. Then you have What's Real, probably my favorite track off the whole album. The beat definitely reminds me of Premier in his Moment of Truth days. Actually, kind of reminds me. This song reminds me of Make 'Em Pay off Moment of Truth with Crumb Snatcher. How it was an amazing, uplifting, like powerful beat, and then Guru kills his verse. Then Royce does what Crumb Snatcher did on that song, and he steals the show with his verse. Like he just goes off. And of course you have Group Home here too, from the Starr Foundation, which is something I predicted when I was predicting what would be on this album. I said, if they most likely follow the Moment of Truth formula, it's an MOP feature, a militia, and just the fact that this might be the last Gang Starr album, you want to reunite the original Gang Starr Foundation, which is Group Home, J. Voodoo Damager, and Big Shug. So, and yeah, they were excellent on this track on the hook, Lil Dap and Malachi the Nutcracker. So that was an amazing song. It's probably my favorite track off the album. Next you have From a Distance featuring J. Root. But before you even get to that, you have his son, was it Casey Elam, who was only 9 when Guru passed, and I think he's 19 now. Premier said that when he was doing the interlude that he had to pause. First of all, it's a quick interlude too, talking about how his father was a great MC and stuff. But Premier actually talked about how while recording this skit, his son had to pause in between words because it looked like he was breaking down, because, you know, it's hitting him that his father isn't here, and Premier had to, you know, it took about like 9 minutes to get this skit, second skit done. But then it goes into From a Distance, another aggressive, hard-hitting beat. Very, very good use of J. Voodoo Damager here. You know, I know a lot of people were definitely happy to hear him again on the Premier beat. In fact, I know people that are hoping for a J. Root and Premier album now, you know, to make it to complete, I guess, their trilogy. Because, you know, he had The Sunrise in the East in 94 and The Wrath of the Math in 96. And that's actually the last time we heard J. Root on a Premier beat was in 1996. Think about that real quick. That's at least 23 to 24 years ago. So, you know, great song. Family and Loyalty, I talked about that track already. You could go check the video where I reviewed the track. J. Cole delivered one of his best verses in his career. And that's saying a lot, being that he's been in the public conscious as far as hip hop since 2008 with his first mixtape with DJ On Point. I forgot what the fuck it was called. It's him standing in front with a green jacket, and the rest of North Carolina is blue in the background. I think it's the Come Up. I think it's the Come Up. Yeah, he rapped over one of his famous songs off that mixtape was him freestyling off of the You're the Man by Nas, that instrumental. But yeah, he's been in it for a very long time. Being that this is one of his more impressive verses, it's real good. I love the beat. Another Moment of Truth reminder. If you guys are wondering why I keep mentioning Moment of Truth, is because to me personally, that's the best album. It's like a top 5 album for me all time. Hopefully we'll review that one day, and we'll get to the reason why I feel like that's such a great album. But after that, you got Get Together, which is Guru and Nitty Scott basically kicking some bilingual game to each other, and Neo's on the hook. And it's not your your usual R&B, say the same thing for 2 bars and then repeat it for the next 2 bars as a hook. It's like he's actually like, it's like a conversational hook. I say converse. I don't even know if that's a word. Like a conversation hook where he's basically speaking. I don't remember the hook. I mean, I do, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to ruin it. Because I will say it and it sounds like it's gonna sound crazy if I try saying it. But yeah, pretty good beat too. Very mellow, very entrancing. I love this beat. I mean, it's okay. I love it, but it's not like amazing. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I love it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm actually surprised that Gru actually tried that. I haven't listened to a lot of his stuff for Solar, except for a few things like Jazzy Ways off of Jazz Pataz for the mixtape, I believe. But beyond that, it was like, nah. So, I mean, who knows if he's been doing that bilingual thing past his Gangstar years into the 7 Grand years, but I think it's dope. Then you have so many rappers, which I think this is the beat where it sounds like, if you guys ever heard Ill Bill, he has a beat produced by DJ Premier. So I think it's called Chaos or something like that. Not Soliloquy of Chaos. That's a Gangstar song from Daily Operation. But man, Ill Bill, there's a beat that DJ Premier did for Ill Bill, and this sound, I think So Many Rappers is the instrumental that sounds like a reworking of that beat because it sounds so similar. But yeah, Guru talks about basically rappers, basically coming into the game thinking that that they're gonna mumble their way to success, only for them to fall flat. All these one-hit wonders that are coming out, you know what I mean, who you quickly forget. There's a bunch of them, right? One that comes to mind, I think, is Trinidad James. Not to diss him or anything, but I remember he had that, like, what was it? Trying to remember the damn thing. Trying to remember the song. I think it's with the gold on my watch or something like that. But yeah, one thing I do want to say is that at the end of the track, he has a line that kind of makes me remind me of you guys ever hear What I'm Here For off the Moment of Truth soundtrack, not soundtrack, Moment of Truth album, and he has a line at the end where he says it, and it's very potent and powerful, and the beat cuts off, where he says, I'll be saying some shit off my dome that be sounding better than the next man's whole album. And it's so simple, but it's very powerful and to the point. And he does the same thing here where he says, so many rappers try to enter the game and we'll be lucky if we even remember their name. And it cuts off in the same fashion. And it just reminded me of that verse from What I'm Here For, because it's so powerful yet so simple, because it's the truth. A lot of people come in nowadays thinking that they're going to just, BS their way into success. Some are lucky, but for the most part, it's like, okay, can you try to make another one? Can you try to make another one? You know what I mean? So then you have Business Art with Talib Kweli, and they're basically talking about how artists kind of like try to choose between business or art, and which one they want to sacrifice in order to like make it. You know what I mean? And I think that's a very, very important subject. especially nowadays where artists could still kind of be screwed over by the business and all that stuff, and people kind of manipulating them and talking about, if you do this, you'll get more, and you'll sacrifice your artistic integrity based on the fact that you think you might be bigger if you go this way. You know what I mean? So it's like a very important topic. Talib kills it. The beat again is just, it's aggressive simplistic, if that's even a thing, if I can even say that. It's aggressive simplistic. But I mean, so yeah, the song was okay. Then you have Bring It Back Here, I believe, which is this is the song that I believe I said was 50 seconds. And yeah, it's a great track. It's basically Guru flexing his lyrical muscles and basically telling anybody who dares to challenge him on the mic what's going to end up happening to them. Very, very great, aggressive beat again from Premier. Very, very sped up tempo too. And then after that, you have Take Flight Militia Part 4, which starts off with an interlude from Big Shug, which, by the way, the NYGs actually have an interlude on this album too. That's from an interview that they were doing when Guru passed on Headquarters Radio. I think it was NYG's Panchi, Premier, I think his nephew Justin, and Big Shug. They were on the phone, and he was telling him how, Guru was a teacher before he was a rapper and all that, and how he always wanted to teach the kids and all that stuff. So he made sure to make it a point to put that message in his music. But here in this interlude, Big Shug is singing, and Big Shug has an amazing voice. I'm actually surprised he didn't do more R&B type stuff. If Ghostface could make a Wizards of Poetry album and it could be all R&B, I'm pretty sure Big Shug could pull off a whole album just singing. Just saying. But after he sings that melody, he goes into the Militia Part 4, which is another aggressive song. And, it's a very, very good follow-up to, Militia Part 3 from the Owners. I don't think it was... I don't want to go into the ranking of the militias just yet, because there's 4 of them. 3 of them have Big Shug and Freddie Fox. One has one with Dub C from West Side Connection and Rakim, but it's a good addition into the series. You know what I mean? And they all bring it. I can't really say much more than that. If you know Big Shug, if you know Freddie Fox, who, by the way, he likes to say that when he's with Gang Starr, he's Freddie Fox. Any other time he's Bumpy Knuckles. I don't know, but yeah, very, very, very great song. And then you have the final track, Bless the Mic, which is actually the first track Premier worked on, and he wasn't even sure if this was gonna sound right or anything like that. This is the track that kind of made him start questioning just exactly, if he should go through with this or not. I remember him saying that he was having private sessions with him in the picture of Guru in his urns, and he was just crying, talking to the picture as if Guru was there. But after he got through making it, he got into the groove and he gained more confidence and stuff. And I have to say, it's my second favorite track off the album. It starts off with a Richard Pryor skit about old rappers being 50, coughing, and trying to still rock the mic. But Guru he takes a verse from What I'm Here For off Moment of Truth and turns it into the hook. It's a message in the song that makes you rock on. Some people go to places where they don't belong. Whether wrong or right, a lot of people fight, but I'm here to bless this mic, alright? Yeah. It's a great song, great outro. I'm actually kind of surprised, however, that Premier didn't, I guess maybe because Guru wasn't alive, it may have been too emotional. But they didn't do another Rest in Peace song. What I mean by that is, if you've heard Moment of Truth, the last song is called In Memory Of, where they dedicated it to all the people that they've known that had passed on at that point. And then on the Owners, they have a song Eulogy, which is the same thing, because more people had passed away from 98 to 2003. So they, shout them out as well, and shout out anybody else that they haven't shouted out on the last track. that they did, which was in memory of Off Moment of Truth. So I'm surprised they didn't do that now, because they could have had the opportunity to dedicate not just to Guru himself, but to Fife, Prodigy, Sean Price. You know, I know Premier's like a fan of other types of entertainment too, so like China, Chris Benoit, I don't know, John Singleton, freaking John Witherspoon just passed recently, like, so he could have definitely did another Chris Lighty, you know, just a lot of people that really passed that he could have just touched on and really kind of given a rest in peace. I'm surprised they didn't do that for this album. Again, it might have been too emotional, because now Guru is amongst those names that have passed on. So I don't know, maybe it might have been weird to have Guru rap about himself passing on. But then again, Tupac and Scarface do it. So, but anyway, that was the album. That was the whole album. 37 minutes of Gang Starr greatness. Now, with that being said, I have to go to my rankings, right? What do I rate this from out of 5 stars? I will say this. A lot of people are probably gonna look at me and be like, well, you should lay easy on the rating, because it's not fair that Premier had 30 tracks to work with, and you know, he had to kind of. But if another artist were to do the same thing and have these one verse songs or anything of the sort, you know, I wouldn't judge them any differently. I would judge them based on, you know, the same criteria that I judge them now, how I feel and what I personally think. You know, I'm not going to play any favoritism, even if, you know, the situations were a certain way because of certain situations, you know what I mean? So, with all that being said, very short album. It didn't feel like Guru was there, but you're probably saying, well, just because it didn't feel like that and it was copy and paste, the music is the music, so you should judge the music based on what you hear, not what you think was happening during the creation of it. And it's, I don't know about that, like, because music makes you feel, it makes you think, it makes you do a lot of things. To me, feeling something from music is one of the most important components that a music can do, was invoke emotion. And the emotions I felt during listening to this, I felt Guru's absence. You know, I didn't feel like the verses being potent and relatable today and still resonating with what's going on today and still being relatable is one thing, but feeling it coming from the artists themselves is another. You know, so I just felt it was like, so you had that, then you had the quick, some of these songs were pretty quick too, again, because of Guru's one verse, because in Gangsta albums, even if it is a feature Guru, unless there's like 3 people featuring on a song with him, if it's one artist, Guru will still have like 2 verses, you know what I mean? So it was just, based on the circumstances, it's a very, it might be a minute change for some, but for me, it was just, like, I could feel the changes throughout this whole thing, but, man, and there's a lot of aggressive beats on here. I'm a fan of Primo's aggressiveness, so I'm not even gonna say here in front like he's too aggressive. But some of them were just like aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Man, people are probably gonna shit on me hard for this. Out of 5, I give one of the best yet a 4 out of 5. Because of the fact that it's you know, for an album, for being 30, for a project that stands on its own, for it being what it is, it's great, it's amazing. You could even argue that it might be album of the year. I know some people have. I know one guy says that this is album of the year for him already. I don't know if I'm ready to say that, because there's been a lot of projects, Common, Rhapsody, Murs. I didn't get to review that, but you know, that Murs album was serious. Just a lot of albums that came out this year to just easily toss it. I could be biased in being that Gang Starr is a group I'm connected to emotionally. I could be like, oh yeah, Primo, that's it. It's album. Nah. At the end of the day, it's 4 out of 5 because of the reasons I stated before. Like, you feel the absence. Some of the beats were just, you know, they were aggressive, they're good, but it was like, nah, you know what I mean? And, you know, I don't know, it didn't feel the same. It was too short, in my opinion, especially for a Gangstar album, which might be blasphemy to even judge. People feel like maybe I should just judge it for what's there. But that's how I feel, though. You know, when I listen to Gangstar, I listen to it because Guru's always speaking knowledge and an abundance of it. Here, because of the restrictions based on, you know, First Volume being dead, and then Premier only having 30 tracks to work with, it's like half a meal on a plate instead of a full. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but anyways, guys, I'm running the time limit pretty long. That's it for me now. Gangstar, one of the best yet. 4 out of 5. Great album. Pick it up if you haven't listened to it. You'll probably enjoy it. With that being said, love you. Be safe. Make sure you like and comment. Only subscribe if you like what I'm doing here, because subscriptions are earned, not asked for. If you do subscribe, hit the subscription bell to get notified on videos I do in the future. With that being said, guys, I'm out. I will see you next time, and hopefully, I don't know, we'll do something interesting next time. All right?